Hey guys, this is Good for Miguel, and I am back here again making you guys a new video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Guys, yesterday we just received some sad news, and that news is that Mean Gene Okerlund, the legendary Mean Gene Okerlund, has passed away at the age of 76. And man, dude, that right there it's sad, man. It's It's even sadder because we just hit the new year. We just hit 2019, and we start off 2019 with a death of a legendary announcer, a legendary commentator, a legendary interviewer that was in the WWE that everybody knows about. Mean Gene Okerlund, man. And that right there is just sad, man. Not a good way to start off 2019, man. I mean, that right there was terrible, dude. And I feel so bad for the family of Mean Gene Okerlund, and I also feel bad for the fans. Even me too. I was a fan of Mean Gene Okerlund. Yes, I didn't grow up in the time when he was like in the WWE in the 80s and early in the 90s. I mean, I was born in 1994, so I kind of missed out on a lot of stuff that Mean Gene Okerlund was a part of in the early, in the 80s, in the early 90s, and I think maybe in the late 90s too. Maybe I actually don't remember that, but I did know who Mean Gene Okerlund was and is because I did see like a lot of videos of WWE about people talking about Mean Gene Okerlund, and not only Mean Gene Okerlund, not only did he just go ahead and just did interviews with the wrestlers and talk to them about that, Mean Gene Okerlund was actually a person on camera that everybody could connect to and all that stuff. I mean, he didn't just do interviews, he did a bunch of wacky stuff. I mean, it's just so awesome just to see what kind of stuff Mean Gene Okerlund was. And it was so freaking cool to see that from him. I mean, there was some great funny stuff that he did. I mean, there was one thing that people were and that people will always remember, and that was the debut of the Gobbledygooker. Yep, the Gobbledygooker made his debut at Survivor Series, and Mean Gene Okerlund. It's kind of funny because it's ridiculous. Mean Gene Okerlund was the only person that was able to understand what the Gobbledygooker was talking about. And it was just so funny, especially the part when he was dancing with the Gobbledygooker in the ring. And then all of a sudden, Mean Gene Okerlund decided to go ahead and try to go onto the ropes. And all of a sudden, his foot got caught on the bottom rope and he tripped and he fell. That's one thing that people actually remember with that. And it's kind of so funny. And also there was another part when he was, I think, I actually don't remember what it was, but he was, it was the SummerSlam. Fuck, I forgot what year that was, but it was a SummerSlam pay-per-view that he was interviewing Bobby the Brain Heenan and ravishing Rick Rude. And then all of a sudden, the SummerSlam sign kind of fell off. Out of nowhere, it fell off, and then Mean Gene Okerlund got scared, and he looked behind him, and he swirled. I mean, swirled. He sweared at in front of the camera, and he was saying that who in the heck didn't put this sign properly, and it was so funny. And actually, like years later, Mean Gene Okerlund came back, and he was doing something. In one of the SummerSlam pay-per-views, not couple years, but years later, and they actually did that gimmick again about the sign falling off, and Mean Gene Okerlund was like, oh god, yeah, dude. I mean, it's really sad. I mean, Mean Gene Okerlund wasn't just only a announcer and an interviewer; he was more than just that, and it's so sad to see that he passed away, man. And it's just terrible. But before I go ahead and continue a little bit more about my thoughts about Mean Gene Okerlund and all that stuff, I'm going to go ahead and read you guys the article that WWE posted on their website, and I'm going to go ahead and read the article for you guys right now. So, the article says, WWE is saddened to learn that WWE Hall of Famer Mean Gene Okerlund, the most recognizable interviewer in sports entertainment history, has passed away at the age of 76. Mean Gene, as he was named by fellow Minnesotans, Jesse the Body Ventura first came to prominence as an interviewer in the American Wrestling Association in 1984. Okerlund made a move to WWE, where he became recognizable as the superstar. He asked the tough questions to, including Macho Man Randy Savage, the Ultimate Warrior, and perhaps Okerlund's greatest guest, Hulk Hogan. Countless Hulkster's interviews included the inevitable phrase, "Well, you know something, Mean Gene?" That's the iconic thing that Hulk Hogan always did to Mean Gene Okerlund. And it's so funny. And also, if you guys remember, at the 25 year at Raw 25 that happened early 2018, Mean Gene Okerlund came back and he was interviewing AJ Styles, and AJ Styles decided to go ahead and do a spoof of Hulk Hogan to Mean Gene Okerlund, and it was just so funny that he did that because Mean Gene, you saw the look at Mean Gene's face, and he's like, "Oh, I know what he's doing," and it was kind of funny, man. It was really funny. Let's go ahead and read the rest of the article. As the respected and reliable man behind the microphone in WWE, Okerlund branched out from interviewing and provided ringside commentary and hosted several shows, including All American Wrestling, Tuesday Night Titans, Wrestling Challenge, and Primetime Wrestling. Announcing wasn't all that Okerlund could do with a microphone, as he performed the national anthem at the first WrestleMania in 1985. Later that year, Okerlund would sing Tutti Frutti on WWE's The Wrestling album. Okay, this one I don't know about the wrestling album, about him singing Tutti Frutti. What the hell? I'm gonna have to check that out, but that's kind of funny. In 1993, Okerlund joined WCW, where he continued to interview many of the legends he had worked with in the AWA and WWE, as well as WCW stalwarts like Sting, Diamond Dallas Page, Goldberg, and others. Okerlund returned to WWE in 2001 to call the Gimmick Battle Royal at WrestleMania 17. I remember that. Along with Bobby the Brain Heenan, and continued to appear on WWE television programming, including as a cast member on WWE Network's Legends House. I remember that too. WWE extends its condolences to Okerlund's family, friends, and fans. And guys, that is the end of the article. So yeah, guys, Mean Gene didn't just go ahead and just did WWE commentating in the interviews. He actually did go to WCW, and he was able to interview like a bunch of wrestlers right there. And it was just so amazing that Mean Gene Okerlund wasn't just your typical interviewer. Mean Gene would just go ahead and ask the tough questions. And when he goes ahead and asks these tough questions, that actually goes ahead and brings more. It makes the wrestlers go ahead and bring more to the table. So that way the fans will get to know a little bit more about the wrestlers and their character and all that stuff. And that way the fans can go ahead and connect to these wrestlers. And that was Mean Gene Okerlund's job. He was trying to go ahead and get these wrestlers to go ahead and say something that Mean Gene wants to go ahead and hear. Not just Mean Gene, but the fans too. So that way the fans get to know the person and the wrestler a little bit more, which makes them a fan of theirs, and they will go ahead and support them. Or unless if it's a heel, then it would just go ahead and make the fans hate them, which would be really, really funny and all that stuff. So yeah, Mean Gene did come back in the Gimmick Battle Royal. He was with Bobby the Brain Heenan. There were commentators right there at the Gimmick Battle Royal. I saw that. It was a funny battle royal. It was just a funny gimmick that they want to go ahead and put it. And it was just so awesome just to hear Mean Gene Okerlund and Bobby the Brain Heenan. God rest his soul. And if you guys don't know, Bobby the Brain Heenan passed away a couple years ago, and it was kind of sad to find that out too. and now we have Mean Gene Okerlund passed away. So the two people that were in the gimmick battle royal that were commentating there are no longer with us, and it's really really sad to find that out, man. It's really sad, but yeah, they were right there. They were commentating on the gimmick battle royal, and it was just so cool to hear their voices commentating on on the match. It's just so really cool. And at the end of the match, the Iron Sheik won, and it was kind of funny because what's the what's the funniest gimmick to win the gimmick battle royal? Of course, the Iron Sheik. So it's kind of funny. So yeah, he was right there in the gimmick battle royal. He was just commentating there, and then Mean Gene Okerlund came back, and he was on Legends House, and I did see Legends House. I did see all of the episodes. It was awesome, and we got to learn a little bit more about Mean Gene, and also the rest of the Hall of Famers. And it was just so cool to go ahead and get to learn a little bit more about Mean Gene, especially when you're a new fan and you don't know about this. Like, if your parents went on ahead and talked to you about this interviewer that talked to the wrestlers that were the icons like Macho Man Randy Savage, the Ultimate Warrior, and Hulk Hogan, all that stuff, and your parents went on ahead and told them that there was an interviewer that interviewed them, which was a really good interviewer, and you want to go ahead and check them out. Some people went ahead to Legends House. They heard the name Mean Gene Okerlund. They went to go ahead and watch Legends House, and they got to know him a little bit more. And also, they went ahead and watched some of his other work in WCW too. So it was really, really cool that on the WWE Network you get to go ahead and learn a little bit more about Mean Gene, and it just made it easier for you. And it also made it easier for me because I didn't know who Mean Gene was when I was like in like I think I was let's see, I didn't start watching wrestling like in mid 2000. I didn't know Mean Gene until like late 2000s. So that was kind of like when I was in middle school. I think it was in like in the 5th grade. I think was I in the 5th grade? No. Oh no. Scratch that. No, that was in the late 2000s. I think I was wait. I graduated in 2010 in middle school, so I think I was like in 7th or between 7th or 6th grade. I found out who Mean Gene was, and after that, for so long, I got to know a little bit more about Mean Gene. And when it came to Legends House, when that came out, I wanted to go ahead and learn a little bit more about him. And also, I wanted to go ahead on the WWE Network and got to learn a little bit more about Mean Gene and all that stuff. And that was just so great, man. I can't, I can never forget about that episode in Legends House when the Legends had to go ahead and do kind of like a commercial. It was kind of like a commercial type of thing that they go ahead and do, and the Legends were like split into 2 teams. Oh, man, I have to figure out which team was in one of them. Let's see. One of them was doing a commercial for a car wash, and the other team was doing a commercial on pink flamingos. And it's kind of funny because the pink flamingos won. Oh man, who was in the pink flamingos? Shoot. If I remember, I think in the pink flamingos commercial, I think it was Waddy Piper, Tony Atlas. I think Hacksaw Jim Duggan was there. I think he was there. Let's see. Hillbilly Jim, I think he was with them. And maybe Pat Patterson? Maybe Pat Patterson. Man, I don't actually remember. It's been a long time since I've seen Legends House. And I want to go ahead and watch Legends House again. I want to go ahead and rewatch that because there was some funny moments right there. And, oh yeah, and the other team that was in the car wash team. Okay, if I remember, I think Mean Gene Okerlund was in the car wash team. You had Jimmy Hart. You had no, I think Howard Finkel was in the Pink Flamingo team. Yeah, I think Howard Finkel was in the Pink Flamingo team, and Pat Patterson was in. Okay, yeah, so Pat Patterson was in the car wash team. Oh my god, I can never forget about that funny moment in the car wash. There was an epic fail in the car wash commercial, um, and it was okay. It's just so funny to think about it because the way how Pat Patterson reacted, it was hilarious. Okay, just let me go ahead and tell you what happened. Okay, in the car wash commercial, Jimmy Hart was on the side, and the Legends were actually inside the car wash, in the area where you want to go ahead and wash the car in that little area. And Pat Patterson was in front of the car, and all of a sudden somebody was like spraying the water gun that goes ahead and just the power wash to go ahead and just clean the core. And Pat Patterson's reaction, Pat Patterson was swearing so much. It was so freaking funny because you never see him do that. It was funny. He was swearing, and he actually thought that Jimmy Hart was the one that did that. And because of that, Pat Patterson was so freaking mad and pissed off at Jimmy Hart. He actually thought that Jimmy Hart did that. But no, it wasn't Jimmy Hart. It was one of the employees that was working at the car wash. And Mean Gene Okerlund was just right there, and he was standing there. He was just watching this the whole time. It was just so freaking hilarious. I mean, Pat Patterson's reaction, man. Oh my god. It was just so freaking hilarious, man. Oh, man. The funny stuff that the Legends did in the Legends house, it was so memorable and so fun. It's kind of, man, I wish WWE would go ahead and do a season 2 of that, of the Legends house. So that they should actually do that. So that way people like in the younger generation could get to know a little bit more about the Legends. But I think they stopped doing that because of the passing of Roddy Piper, which was kind of unfortunate. Um, but I think they should bring it back. I mean, I want to go ahead and watch Legends House again. I want to go ahead and bring out more of these legends and the wrestlers, so that way the younger generation gets to know them a little bit more before their time comes to an end. And so that way, when the younger generation finds out of their passing, they will go ahead and say their condolences to them because they know who they are. So. But yeah, man, I wish to go ahead and bring that back, but I don't know if they will. But yeah, but at least they did come out with Legends House, and because of that, I was able to get to know a little bit more about the Legends, and also Mean Gene Okerlund too. So yeah, man, I mean it's just so sad. I mean, not a good way to start off the year of 2019. It's just really sad and unfortunate, but you know what? Mean Gene Okerlund is in a better place. God rest his soul. Mean Gene Okerlund, thank you so much for entertaining me. Thank you so much for entertaining the fans back in the day and all that stuff. I know I wasn't born in I wasn't born in the time when you were doing your interviews and your business and all that stuff and your work. But that doesn't mean I can't just go on online and just look you up and just watch the stuff that you did and all that stuff. And because of that, I got to know a little bit more about you, and I get to learn a little bit more what you are and who you are and all that stuff. And because of that, thank you so much for entertaining me. Thank you for all the stuff that you did. And, you know, your legacy will never be forgotten, and you will always be the most iconic, legendary interviewer in everybody's hearts and in wrestling. No doubt about that. So, rest in peace, Mean Gene Okerlund. Thank you so much. God rest your soul. And, you know, just, you're free. So, anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching the video. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Stay tuned, guys. Bye.